My name's Jensen Kellett, and I just got first place at the Indy Regional playing Danger Tier. Here's my deck list. So, started out with 3 Sheeran. It's a free level 4, which comes up really important for the extra deck and clearing boards. But obviously, you want to max out on all of the tier names. So, 3 of all the tiers. Yeah, hitting these are always good. Opening these in multiples is really good. You can't really complain about any of these cards. And with this, like, implementing the Sprite Elf in the extra deck, Merle gets like twice as good as she once was. So that's it for the tiers. Then I played the Danger package. So 3 Nessie, it's a Dark Aqua. You make Garura, you can make Kit with it. 2 Mothman, because once again, the level 4 extenders are pretty important. The Snake and the Jackalope, because they're just really good discards. And then this also gets you to a 4, so it's really good. And then the 1 Bigfoot, it's situational. It's really good if you have like Zephyros engraved, because you can summon one of these and then bounce it back and then summon the Zephyros and then use these again, which is pretty cracked. And then for the last monsters, I played 2 Gizmek. This is really good against Sprite and anything that has like multiple interruptions to get rid of your dark monsters with different attributes. So you can't, they try to stop you from making Curious, but you can always get to it if you see this card. And then summoning it against Sprite before they get out in the red makes it so you can beat over the Toad play. So you can summon this like after they searched red or whatever. And then during their turn, you'll just attack over the Elf, and then you use this effect, the Banish from the extra deck, and then you can pop the Toad, and then that gets rid of their whole board, essentially. And then the last 2 cards, obviously Snow. This card needs to be banned again. It's insane. And then the Zephyros. This is actually really good all day. There's multiple times, like, where I would go 2 level 4s into a Dweller or Redoer and then into Zeus, and I would use the Zephyros to bounce back the Perlolino so I have it for follow-up next turn. So that was really good all day. And then for the spells, 3 Planet. This card's insane. Not much else to say about it. And then the Terraforming. Going second, Board Breakers, 3 Dark Ruler. You have to play this card right now. I played 3 Super Poly because this card's insane and it should not be at 3, and he tells me this all the time, but until it's not at 3, I'm always going to be playing 3 of it, especially with the new fusion, because that card's...
Yeah, Garura is broken.
Garura is insane. 2 Desires, because you want to draw cards, and honestly, banishing cards is not really that bad in this deck, because the ones you want to see are ones you play 3 of, so it doesn't matter if you hit 2, you only need 1 in the deck to be able to play. The 1 of spells, Called By, Foolish, Instant, and then Cyclone for the Mind. And then I played 2 of the Trap. This card's nuts because if you discard it with the Dangers or if you mill it, it gives you a free search. And the fact that it stays up for you to do multiple times is insane. And if you have it in combo with the big one, you pretty much win. If you have this set up with this on board, you win the game. It's pretty simple. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. I played 42. For the extra deck, for fusions, I played 2 Kit Kalos. If you're playing 1 of this, you're dumb, because if they banish it, you lose. 1 Kaleido Heart, insane, you only need 1 of it. 1 Mud Dragon for Super Poly and just miscellaneous fusion summonings, also level 4, which comes in clutch a lot. Dragostapelia, and then this card is fucking nuts. This card, oh my gosh. Whenever I sided in anti-spells, I didn't really see them, but in testing, every time that I summoned this card and then used it with the Merle to go into the Elf, into the IP play, I drew into some card that I needed that gives me another interruption. So the fact that you can summon this with things that you mill that are just free resources to be able to use this as a material on field and then draw another card after that is insane. So that's it for the fusions. There's 6 of them. For the links, played Curious. Nothing else to really say about that. You send Snow, you win. Elf, this card's nuts because of Merle. The play that I'll try to do is You summon kit somehow, search the Merly, then use the kit to mill or whatever. Hopefully hit a tier and then fusion into this, and then you go this and the Merly into the elf. Draw a card, you get to summon this back, and then if you have any other extenders, then you can go into the IP for the bomber play, which is fucking pretty insane. So yeah, the elf was really good. Also, the targeting effect came in a lot today because I'll get to that part in a second, but IP, Dark, and then the 2 topologic monsters. These things put in work. This card's an OTK machine. This card lets you blow up your opponent's boards under Dweller like 5 times in 1 turn, which is not fair. Yeah, that's it for the links. And then for the XYZs, I played 1 Redoer, 1 Dweller, and 1 Zeus. And this card is the best deck, and this card is the best card in the extra deck. There's so many times where, like, I would have, I don't know, I would be playing through a board with, like, about 4 negates, right? And I'll end up somehow with two level 4s. Overlay these 2 into either, if you have a Sheeran, it's even better because then you can go into Redoer and kind of dodge everything to do. But if not, then you go into Dweller. Use Dweller effect. You attack into any monster. You overlay into Zeus in main phase 2, and then you wipe their board under Dweller. So they lose their entire field. And most decks are not like really good at collecting resources for next turn. They pretty much just put everything they have out there, and if you break it, you win. And if you can summon this and overlay it with Zeus and resolve this effect and this effect, you pretty much win the game. So that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, I played 3 Nib because the mirror is very tough sometimes because it's a lot of RNG. But if you play this card and your opponent mills like a god and hits all their tiers and summons 8 monsters, you summon this and they cry. And they can't do anything else. Pankratops, this card is insane against Sprite because it breaks the whole Sprite board with just 1 card by itself. And it also lets you play if your opponent deburies you or has anti-spell or any of those cards. 3 Twin for the back row. Back row removal. I thought about playing Cosmics because of the Runic, but I fortunately did not play that deck. That was the deck I was most afraid about in this whole tournament. And then the 1 Duster for back row. 3 Droplet because if you play against Tier and you summon this card, you win the game. If you summon this card and resolve it, you win the game. So if I'm going second against a Tearalament deck, that's not the Branded, because Branded obviously doesn't play any XYZs or links. I'm putting these in because I do not want this card to resolve. And if it does resolve, you win the game, or you lose the game from that standpoint. And then the last 4 cards, 3 Anti-Spell, because I want to put up my board, and I don't want my opponent to mind me, Dark Ruler me, anything along the lines of that. It's not really to stop their main deck cards, it's to stop the blowout cards. And then the 1 Reboot, last round, game 2, drew this card against like 4 back row against the Exorcister deck, and it won me the whole game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. The deck is really, really good. It doesn't have a lot of weak points aside from like Dimension Shifter, but there's really not much you can do against that card to begin with. And obviously Mine's always an issue, but there's ways to play around Mine, except if you're playing against the Runic Mine, then it gets really hard. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints, and I don't know what changes I would make right now, but I'm sure they'll like test it out and see, try to get some better ratios, maybe like cut 1 Gizmek, because seeing 2 of this is not the best. But you definitely want to see 1 of it, so we'll see. But yeah, that's all I got for now.
Shoutouts?
Shout out to all the people from my locals who helped play test. Shout out to Corey for letting me borrow his Mud Dragon for the past like month and a half that I haven't returned, even though it's a rare. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay.